1. Which of the following is a key principle of adult learning theory? A. Adults learn best by being told what to do. B. Adults prefer passive learning methods. C. Adults are motivated by practical applications of learning. D. Adults need less feedback during learning. 2. What does the term curriculum development primarily involve? A. Creating assessments only. B. Organizing learning objectives and content. C. Developing lesson plans without materials. D. Delivering lectures to students. 3. Which of the following is an essential characteristic of an effective mentor? A. Directing all student activities. B. Providing constant evaluation without feedback. C. Supporting learners' independent thinking. D. Setting rigid rules and expectations. 4. In the context of adult learning, what is meant by self-directed learning? A. Learning through passive instruction. B. Learning where the learner takes initiative in the learning process. C. Learning with external pressures. D. Learning with full guidance from instructors. 5. What type of feedback is most effective for adult learners? A. Nonspecific feedback. B. Feedback that is timely and actionable. C. Feedback that is delivered at the end of a course. D. Feedback that is only focused on the negative aspects of the learner's performance. 6. Which of the following would be an example of formative assessment in an educational setting? Final exam. Midterm exam. C. Weekly quizzes with immediate feedback. D. Certification tests. 7. Which communication method is typically best for adult learners? A. Written-only instructions. Audio-based lectures. C. Interactive discussions and peer learning. D. Silent reading assignments. 8. What is the primary goal of the ELSA English Language Skills Assessment? A. To assess grammar and vocabulary knowledge only. B. To evaluate speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills. C. To test mathematical abilities alongside language skills. D. To assess a student's ability to memorize complex texts. 9. Which method is most effective for assessing the speaking abilities of adult learners in a language test? A. Written grammar exercises. B. One-on-one speaking interviews. C. Multiple choice vocabulary questions. D. Peer-reviewed essays. 10. In adult education, which type of evaluation is generally preferred for measuring learning progress? A. Standardized tests with no feedback. B. Personalized assessments with actionable feedback. C. Peer assessments with no instructor involvement. Written essays without a clear rubric. 11. Which of the following is an essential component in curriculum development for adult learners? Memorizing specific facts. B. Aligning learning objectives with real-life applications. C. Developing lesson plans without materials. D. Focusing solely on theoretical content. 12. How can mentors foster an environment of trust with adult learners? A. By strictly enforcing all rules without discussion. B. By actively listening and offering constructive feedback. C. By avoiding any form of direct communication with learners. D. By focusing solely on learner performance rather than personal development. 13. What is the role of self-reflection in adult learning? A. To encourage learners to memorize more content. B. To help learners become more aware of their strengths and areas for improvement. C. To reduce the need for instructor feedback. D. To focus only on the end results of the learning process. 14. Which of the following best describes a learner-centered approach in adult education? A. Instructors make all decisions regarding content delivery and assessments. B. The focus is entirely on testing knowledge rather than developing skills. C. Learners have an active role in selecting topics and assessments. D. There's minimal interaction between instructor and learner. 15. What role do cultural and personal experiences play in adult learning? A. They should be ignored to focus on standardized content. B. They are irrelevant to the learning process. C. They help shape how adults relate to and apply new knowledge. D. They complicate the learning process and should be minimized. 16. What is the primary objective of using peer evaluations in adult education? A. To assess the instructor's teaching methods. B. To provide learners with an opportunity to critique their peers' personal traits. C. To encourage collaboration and improve critical thinking. D. To focus on final grades rather than learning progress. 17. What is a major challenge when developing a curriculum for adult learners? A. Adults are always highly motivated and require little engagement. B. Adults may have diverse backgrounds, needs, and learning preferences. C. Adults prefer rigid, unchanging course structures. D. Adults have no prior knowledge to draw from in learning. 18. How can an instructor ensure regulatory compliance in an adult learning environment? A. By following educational policies and providing clear documentation. B. By focusing only on completing the syllabus without checking legal requirements. C. By ignoring external accreditation standards. D. By allowing students to assess their own performance. 19. In which scenario would group-based learning be most beneficial for adult learners? A. When focusing on individual performance and independent study. B. When the goal is to promote collaborative skills and collective problem solving. C. When learners need extensive one-on-one tutoring. D. When assessments are individually scored. 20. Which of the following strategies supports the development of listening skills in adult learners? A. Using only written texts for learning. B. Incorporating audio recordings and real-world listening exercises. C. Focusing exclusively on grammar exercises. D. Limiting all learning materials to visual aids. 21. How can mentors encourage adult learners to take responsibility for their own learning? A. By constantly reminding them of deadlines. B. By offering support only when asked. C. By fostering self-reflection and goal-setting practices. D. By doing most of the work for them. 22. In adult education, what is the most important aspect of setting clear learning objectives? A. To ensure students can memorize facts. B. To make sure that learners know exactly what is expected of them. C. To provide a list of requirements that learners must follow. D. To create an obstacle course for learners. 23. Which of the following best supports effective assessment of adult learning? A. Rigid and flexible testing methods. B. Diverse assessment tools tailored to various learning styles. C. Avoiding feedback to prevent discouraging students. D. Only focusing on summative assessments at the end of the course. 24. How does effective communication support adult learners' engagement? A. It increases learners' autonomy by keeping information to a minimum. B. It allows learners to express needs, ask questions, and build rapport. C. It solely focuses on lecture-based methods. D. It excludes discussions to maintain a controlled learning environment. 25. Which method is most suitable for evaluating reading comprehension in adult learners? A. Multiple choice questions with static answers. B. Open-ended questions that encourage critical thinking and analysis. Strict memorization tests. D. Nonverbal communication exercises. 26. What is the purpose of a summative assessment in adult education? A. To provide feedback on individual learning progress during the course. B. To evaluate the overall effectiveness of a course after it has been completed. C. To guide daily instruction and make adjustments as needed. To encourage passive learning through repetition. 27. How should learning objectives be aligned in adult education? A. With personal preferences of the instructor. B. With the learner's future career goals and practical applications. C. With the most popular trends in education. D. With the amount of content the instructor feels is necessary. 28. What is one of the most significant benefits of adult learners' life experiences in the learning process? A. They are often irrelevant to the learning content. B. They can enrich learning by adding practical insights and real-world examples. C. They tend to create learning barriers that hinder progress. They require constant corrections to fit academic standards. 29. What does a learner's motivation impact in the context of adult education? A. It determines whether they will finish the course. B. It has little effect on their engagement in the learning process. C. It only affects the learner's participation in group activities. D. It determines whether the instructor will be successful. 30. What is the benefit of using case studies in adult education? They provide theoretical content without practical application. B. They offer real-life scenarios for problem-solving and critical thinking. C. They are irrelevant to adult learners' career goals. D. They prevent learners from applying their creativity. 31. Which assessment type focuses on learners' ability to apply knowledge in real-world contexts? A. Norm-referenced assessments. B. Authentic assessments. C. Summative assessments. Oral exams only. 32. What is a crucial aspect of managing an adult learning classroom? A. Maintaining a strict, non-interactive environment. B. Encouraging active participation and collaborative learning. C. Focusing solely on lecture-based content. D. Providing only one method of learning.